So, we are on the first of the series, the first game to publish by the amazing team at Square Enix and Disney, Kingdom Hearts. Now, like I said, we are going through the chronological timeline. I boot up this game, I realized, wait, this is simple and clean, but it's like a different mix version of it. Get it? Because it's the final mix. It's Kingdom Hearts final remix. But aside from that, I don't really like it. Not gonna lie, it is cool. Yeah, don't get me wrong, it is cool, but at the same time, me playing Birth by Sleep and hearing like the slowed down version or like the original version, my apologies, like it sounds so much better than Kingdom Hearts. Now, like I said, that's complete bias. I know people prefer the remix over the original. You know what? You're wrong, but it is what it is. I understand. Now, I will say I do have a good laptop on me currently, and I'm hooked up to my monitor. But I gotta say, this game looks very beautiful and very polished for a PS2 game. But I do want to play it on older hardware to get the full experience of it, and most importantly, to not smash my controller into the pavement outside of this place. But as the cutscene plays out and it transitions into the first environment, which is Snow White on a stained glass, pretty cool. So we get used to the controls, and then we stumble upon picking three choices. Now, I have no idea what these were, and I'm not sure if I said this earlier in the previous video, but I like to go through all of these games blind. Now, if I need a guide, I will clearly state I used the guide here because I was super confused and lost on where to go, and I didn't know how to progress further on. But I digress. We learn about, attacking movements. Now we get to pick three options between, I want to say, attack, spells, and defense. I picked sword because, sword is cool, and I thought that would be the best one. Apparently, it's not. Apparently, you get rid of the sword, but you pick the magic and defense. I don't know why. I gotta look up the information, but here you go. It's on screen right now if you want to get more full in depth of it. But once we defeat these shadow demons and run into this big boss, which I think is just a mandatory loss, I don't think you can defeat it, but you can't parry and get some XP, which is super nice, really helpful. And then from there, we get woken up on a beach by Kiri. She sounds familiar. I think she's from Birth by Sleep. I think. I'm not entirely sure, but she sure looks like it because of like the necklace. As Sora and Kari are talking, he gets bonked in the head by something. I don't know what happened here. But Final Fantasy characters. So we get introduced to a younger Titus. I don't know who the girl is with the jump rope. I'm gonna be 1,000,000% real with y'all. I really don't know, but I do know the guy that plays the sport in Final Fantasy X, where it's like you go in the water, you throw a ball around. For the most part, I don't remember the name of it, but here's the screenshot on screen. And funny enough, you can actually fight all three of them to get used to the mechanics of the game, and which I did. I struggled against Titus. Now, they're all specifically different. One of them, the ball guy, he's known for just parrying. You just gotta reflect it, parry it back. You're golden. For Titus, you just gotta learn how to attack, step back, attack. The girl just learn how to run away, jump, and then attack her, is what I'm assuming. We're also told by Kairi to look for two pieces of wood, rope, and a sail because we're making a raft so we can escape off this island and go on a real adventure. And while on the island, you can't just farm for XP. Me, I was very into like, hey, I want to beat all three of these characters before I move on to the next day because I thought there was a progression system. Not to mention, you can also fight Riku. Now, there's like a tally system about how many times you beat him and he's beaten you. Now, I think after you defeat him like 20 times or something, you get like high potions instead of just regular potions. But man, it was a struggle. It took me about 17 attempts, and I believe on my 19th, if not the 20th attempt for me, I finally defeated him and I leveled up my defense, which was super cool. And I wish, I did that sooner with like Titus and the other two characters as well. But hey, you live and you learn. Now we find supplies to make the raft. We discuss and talk about, future plans. Let's, all stay together. Let's never, change. We care about each other. Let's defend and protect each other. But that's Kairi talking to Sora about the two of them running away on the raft and just, starting a brand new adventure. Which is, what about Riku, man? What happened to him? You're just going to ditch your old friend and be like, nah, man. There's also this little flashback sequence of Sora as a younger kid. Now, this where it primarily focuses on the Birth by Sleep because now it's like a younger Sora, you have the younger Kairi. In this wooden door, now I think this wooden door may potentially lead to us going to the other worlds, potentially. is what I'm assuming. They're both bonding, hanging out, super sweet, wholesome stuff. And then there's this mysterious stranger. Now, he does sound familiar towards the secret episode of Birth by Sleep of that weird old dude, kind of like the blondish beard, and he was also eating that blue popsicle. Now, is he important? Is he like a following figure or something? I don't know, like a Yoda, I want to assume. But he's talking about, hey man, things are about to change. You better get ready. If not, it's gonna come knocking at your door. Everything is gonna be taken away from you, my boy. Telling this to a child. It's like, wait, what? Wait, what do you mean? Can you explain? I can't, man. Gotta let fate decide. And it's like, what are we talking about, man? It's Tuesday. I'm about to eat tacos soon. But now we get introduced to the boys, and we get to see Donald and Goofy dripped out. Like, oh my goodness, my boy looking clean, even though he doesn't heal. But man, this is my boy looking clean as shit. Now, we do stumble upon the king, aka Mickey Mouse. He leaves a note behind for Donald and Goofy to read, and leaving it for Pluto to deliver to them. I don't know why the dog. If me personally, I'm leaving stuff behind, I'm gonna be like, hey man, let's get Pete. Let's get Captain Justice to help us out a little bit, all right? But no, he leaves a letter. They're like, oh my goodness, we can't tell the princesses, we can't tell Minnie, we can't tell Daisy, so we got to skedaddle. But they find out regardless, and there's a whole situation like, oh my goodness, what's going on? We got to figure out where the king is. We got to figure out where King Mickey is. Now, fun fact about Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse, they are not allowed to show the back of their ears. I don't know why. Here's a Google receipt. I'm not going to read it to you. But you can also see the camera kind of like switch positions. If you pause it just right on the video, which thank you for watching, but you can like see Minnie's ears just move. It kind of looks super weird and very uncanny, but also funny at the same time. It's like, hey man, you're not allowed to. I think it was like a technical issue for like environment reasons. I think they fixed it in the second game. But as Donald and Goofy inform both the princesses, Daisy and Minnie, they get interrupted by Jiminy Cricket saying, hey man, I want to come along too. So they do. They venture off to get into this cool spaceship, aka the Gummy Ship. I don't know why it's called that. But they also Chip and Dale are in this too, helping out Donald and Goofy get the ship ready to go before they get launched, or should I say dropped into. As we cut back to Destiny Island, now this is day 2, the 3-day part of this entire adventure before things really hit the fan. So primarily in this part, you're getting food to get ready to go on this grand adventure with Riku, Sora, and Kiri. Because hey, what are you gonna do? You're gonna starve on this trip? No, you gotta get some food. So we're told to grab some coconuts, fish, as well as water, I believe. So that's gonna be fun. Also, there's like this little racing mini game that you can do against Riku. You can get a shiny stone or like a little stone thing. I think you can sell it. I don't think it's that important. I might be wrong. I gotta go back and check the item supplies later in the game. But primarily, the final day arrives. Now, there's a massive thunderstorm happening out there. Darkness is imbuing the island. And like I said, all three of these kids have parents, all right? Keep this in mind. So your kid goes out in the middle of the night. Sora, this instance, goes out to the middle of the night, heads to the island, sees, oh my goodness, the raft is going to get destroyed. We had to go protect it. Oh my goodness, Kairi and Riku are here too. All right, cool. They should help me out. But then, boom, enemies. And then you're fighting for your life. You get to see this massive creature. All of a sudden, you lose the fight, and now your entire world gets sucked into oblivion. It's just gone. Like, that's just horrible. Like, what are these people at Disney and Square Enix going through, dude? Like, I want to know their thought process. Because imagine, like, as a parent, too, you're trying to get your kid, like, hey, man, dinner's ready. Just gone. Like, oh, shit. Where's my kid? I don't want to get the, CPS called on me. Where's my kid? Oh my goodness, the boat's gone. He's on that island with the 2 other kids. I hope they're okay. And then boom, all of a sudden, just out of existence. The last thought, you either got your entire dinner prepped, your kid is gone, and Sora's parents are basically gone. Like, they're probably dead. As we see Sora getting sucked up into that black hole damn near, Donald and Goofy walking around Transverse Town. And we also get to see Sora arriving there with the help of Pluto. Now, Pluto, he does his own thing. I don't know. He's like some mythical creature, some omnipotent being just wandering around the entirety of Kingdom Hearts 1, all right? But from here, Donald and Goofy are looking for this guy named Leon. I thought it was Leon Kennedy. I'm like, wait, they can talk to the Resident Evil people. I know they're like in Japan, but like I didn't know they were that close. That's kind of goated. But no, it's from a Final Fantasy game. I think it's Final Fantasy 9, I believe. If not, it's probably 8. Yeah, Final Fantasy 8. That was the one where he had like the gunblade. Pretty cool concept. In practicality, it's not. You should go watch Forged in Arms. I believe they go over that entire thing. But no, from here we go around the entire area. We get introduced to Cid. Now, Cid is one of my favorite characters from Final Fantasy VII. I like his story. I like his progression through it. The remakes, I'm going to say this real quick. The Final Fantasy VII remakes are one of the worst things that could have happened story-wise to the Final Fantasy VII games. Now, graphically, yes, it looks beautiful. Of course, I want to see Tifa with some big milkers, all right? Let's be real. They all look great, fantastic. But they desensitized the entire story, put this weird multiversal bullshit in there. It's gross. It's disgusting. It's not Final Fantasy. It's more like, multiverse, Marvel, DC. Let's put that in this Final Fantasy game. No, it's stupid, all right? That's my 2 cents on it. Also, there's the House of 101 Dalmatians. Now, as the movie goes and as, 101 sounds, oh my goodness, you gotta find 101 Dalmatians. No, you gotta find the kids of the 101 Dalmatians. So 99 overall. Now, fun fact, I did get all of them. To get the true ending, I did look up a guide for that. Now, there's they come in groups of 3. So once you find a chest, there's 3 of them. If you find another chest, there's 3 of them. You can earn them, apparently. So imagine you're in Hades hell and you got to get 3 dogs. No, we fight Leon. Honestly, it's just another losing battle. Same with the giant monster on Destiny Island. It's pretty much the same thing. We also catch up with Riku on this abandoned weird waterfall with floating ice crystals. Now we also get to see a hand of a mysterious Maleficent very much looming over him. Now, my thoughts on it, I very much thought, hey, Maleficent's going to be the main villain of the game, kind of like how she was going to get her revenge back at Birth by Sleep, but I was wrong, but you'll see why in the later half of the video. But we get more information on the Keyblade, Kingdom Hearts, why they're after it, and more importantly, we get to see Yuffie as well as a mirage for Kairi, and we also get to see Aerith running into both Donald and Goofy.
Kairi? Kairi?
That's Leon.
The Keyblade. Yeah, we had to get it away from you to shake off those creatures. It turns out that's how they were tracking you.
It was the only way to conceal your heart from them. But it won't work for long. Still, hard to believe that you, of all people, are the chosen one. Well, I suppose beggars can't be choosers.
Why don't you start making sense? What's going on here?
Okay, you know there are many other worlds out there besides your castle in this town, right?
Yeah. But they're supposed to be a secret.
They've been secret because they've never been connected. Until now. When the Heartless came, everything changed.
The Heartless?
The ones who attacked you, you remember?
Those without hearts.
The darkness in people's hearts. That's what attracts them.
And there is darkness within every heart.
Hey, have you heard of someone named Ansem?
And Sam?
He was studying the Heartless. He recorded all of his findings in a very detailed report.
Gosh, can we see it?
Fear of the Keyblade. That's why they'll keep coming after you, no matter what.
Well, I didn't ask for this.
The Keyblade chooses its master, and it chose you.
So, tough luck.
How did all this happen? I remember being in my room. Wait a minute! What happened to my home? My island? Riku! Kairi!
You know what? I really don't know.
That's such a doubter, man. But now we move on to District 3, encountering both Donald and Goofy. We have a little brief interaction, which is pretty wholesome.
Gosh, are these the Heartless guys?
Let's go get him! Goofy!
And as you can see here, they were both looking for Sora. So as they acquired the Keyblade to help out with the world, we fight this boss. He was quite interesting. It reminded me of the boss we fight back in Birth by Sleep, that giant robot. But primarily his weakness is his giant head. Now you can dismantle his arms, his feet, which are two separate entities. So you're about fighting, what, 5 total little health bars? Which is not a bad boss fight. I will get into the combat and the items later on in the video, mainly around the Olympus area.
You were looking for me?
They too have been seeking the wielder of the Keyblade.
Hey, why don't you come with us? We can go to other worlds on our vessel.
I wonder if I could find Riku and Kairi.
Of course.
Are you sure?
Who knows? But we need them to come with us to help us find the thing.
Sora, go with them. Especially if you want to find your friends.
Yeah, I guess.
But you can't come along looking like that. Understand?
Oh,
No frowning, no sad face, okay?
yeah, you gotta look funny, like us. Whoa.
Yes, for ones on happy faces.
Happy?
After seeing 2 anthropomorphic creatures make a kid smile, we proceed on to the rest of the world, making our first stop at Alice in Wonderland, and I made sure to stop by each of the according star levels, ranging from 1 to 22.
Such is the power of the Keyblade. The child's strength is not his own.
Why don't we turn him into a Heartless? That'll settle things quick enough.
And the brat's friends are the king's lackeys. Slug on the eyes, they're all Bill's rats.
And also, as you can hear, there's also other Disney villains such as Ursula, Jafar, Hades, Maleficent. If you couldn't tell already, this is, a Disney game made by Square Enix. Most importantly, most of the main villains here are Disney villains. Now, I despise one of these villains. Do you like Galaga? I sure do. Primarily, how do you get to the different Disney worlds is through these Gumi ship missions. Now, primarily, you can just shoot about or like hold space or hold X, whatever you want to do. You just shoot through the entire level, stay positioned, but you run the risk of getting hit by different enemies. There's all types of enemies. You can also customize your ship, equip different weapons, different engines. You can speed boost through, but that's not until you upgrade certain components. Overall, pretty fun, pretty interesting kind of way of transferring and traveling about to different worlds, which we make it to Alice in Wonderland. Originally, I thought Alice in Wonderland was a story based on a divorce, or was a girl writing the story going through a divorce. I don't know where I got that from, but the main inspiration was from a 10-year-old girl named Alice Little on July 4th, 1862. Familiar with the story, you should be familiar with what is going on. Alice is being put on trial, and now you have to find evidence to support Alice is not guilty before the queen is off with her head, and then any transgression against the queen or judging the queen is off with your head. But then you meet the Cheshire Cat. I don't know why that took me so long to say. I thought it was the Worcestershire Cat. Sorry if you couldn't tell, I was dropped as a child. But anyways, we move on, gather all the evidence. Now, apparently you can get Blizzard, which is really cool. Apparently that was like a random find that you can do if you actually gather all 4 of them. But primarily you just need 1 piece of evidence to give to the queen. I just went out of my way, found all 4. And I gotta say, this boss battle was super annoying, man. I don't know how you can reach him from where you are, but you repeatedly have to use the either chair, the table, and apparently he lights his like little matches on fire, then spins them around, doing fire damage. Now you can use a blizzard, but the hitbox was like super weird. But overall, this boss battle gave me like a good 3 out of 10. If you had like better jumping equipment or like better aerials in the beginning of the game, this would be a lot better. But overall, it's just a bad boss for me. But after we defeat this super annoying boss, we lock the world up. But apparently Alice is kidnapped and taken away to another location, so we have to find her. Now as we make our way to Olympus Coliseum, where we originally played on Birth by Sleep. Now I like to say, I like the progression when I first played Birth by Sleep once again, and then moved on to the actual Kingdom Hearts game, because now we get to see an adult Hercules, which is really nice. So as we have this little brief interaction with Phil, I definitely forgot his name for a second, but have a little interaction saying, hey man, that stone's too heavy. He's like, well, watch a professional do it.
Such a little... Oh, wrong guy. What are you doing here? This here is the world-famous Coliseum, heroes only. And I got my hands full preparing for the games. So run along, pipsqueaks. Look, it's like this. Heroes are coming from all over to fight ferocious monsters right here in the Coliseum.
You've got heroes standing right in front of you.
Yup, he's a real hero chosen by the Keyblade.
And we're heroes too.
Hero? That front?
What's so funny? I fought a bunch of monsters.
Hey, if you can't even move this...
What did you say?
Who are you?
Oh, hey, hold on there, Fuzzboy. Wait, let me guess. You want to enter the games, right? Well, then, get a load of this.
A pass?
It's all yours. Good luck, kid. I'm pulling for you, little shorty.
Now, as we're being laughed at and ridiculed out of the Coliseum, we get introduced by Hades, and he's like, hey man, look, ignore that old guy. Here you go. Here's your ticket. Go have fun. I'm gonna need you later. Try to manipulate him, and I'm assuming try to turn him to the dark side, just like Riku, is what I'm assuming, because Maleficent had some plans for him. So as they both interact, they get the ticket to go inside the Coliseum. Phil, somewhat surprised, is like, all right, cool, you can get in here, but you got to go through all these trials. Mainly is just defeating as many monsters and breaking barrels. You can get better items, better equipment for it. Before we go into the actual trial itself, and for the final test, is fighting Cloud, bro. What the hell? And like I stated before, I really enjoy Final Fantasy VII. I like a lot of the Final Fantasy characters. My personal tops are Cloud, Vivi, and I can't get into specifics just yet, but primarily those two are my favorite characters of all time for Final Fantasy. Now, when we get into here, you can see that he's very much different. You can see his arms like a claw. He has like a jacket on. He's working for Hades, and apparently the way Hades is describing it,
the great god of the underworld is afraid of a kid? Sorry, but my contract says...
I know! You think I don't know? I wrote the contract! I know it says you're only required to kill Hercules in this tournament. But you gotta fight that kid to get to him. Come on. Hey, it's like that old goat says. Rule number 11. It's all just a game. So let loose and have fun with it. I mean, a casualty or two along the way. It's no big deal, right? Jeez. Stiffer than the stiffs back home. Still, suckers like him are hard to come by.
which you're here to kill Hercules, if not Zeus. So if you want your friend back, you're going to need it. So this heavily implies that Zack is either heavily manipulated or taken away to the underworld by Hades, or something else is entirely going on. Because the last time we saw Zack was when he was younger, talking to Aqua, saying, hey, look, try to be a hero. Want to go on a date? But then Cerberus shows up. We defeat Cerberus with the help of Hercules, which apparently he did like most of the work. So this heavily implies that Sora is a lot weaker, because apparently you do get to fight Hercules. Now, I will say Hercules is a good dude. He's a great hero. But at the same time, we all know that you cannot defeat Hercules because you would have to, one, be on par with Atlas, the dude that held the heavens damn near.
Beat Cerberus.
Just between us, I'd already worn Cerberus down by the time the little guy jumped in.
My lips are sealed.
Now from here, we move on to the fourth world of the area, which is the jungle. That's pretty much it, man. But also due to Donald and Sora having a little mishap and fighting between each other, causes the ship to crash and for them to be separated as we fight this weirdly obese tiger.
Donald? Goofy?
But then this tiger looks like roided out. I don't know how he's like so freakishly like swole, man. Like look at that, man. Has biceps on his biceps. Looks like Sam Sulk. But just like the previous two events of us fighting an enemy, we don't really have a say if we win or not. So the game just says, "Hey, we lost. Carry on forward." We get saved by Tarzan. From there, we see a little intermission between Donald and Goofy, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, we get to play as them separately." No, we don't, unfortunately. But we go down this entire tree branch, sliding on it, see the entire facility and area, like just like the campgrounds in the Tarzan movie, and then we swing through vines, figuring out, hey, what's going on in this area. Very much the same story beats as in the movie, except this time we find out that the dude was getting controlled by a chameleon and not by greed. And then we don't get to see the accidental suicide, to say the least. Then we have a boss fight between a hunter and the giant chameleon. And then once we defeat those two, we lock up the world. And that's not a bad thing. It's just ensuring that this entire world is safe and sealed away from the darkness before they can jump on in, cause more chaos and havoc. Also, put your hand down if you think that Donald Duck was going to get hit on by a gorilla.
I think someone has a new admirer.
No, 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 no! This would kill me!